think I'm live. I've never gone live. I could have done this years ago, but I've never, ever gone live. Oh, okay. I'm trying to rotate it, but apparently I can't. So I got to set this up a little bit better. I need a tripod. Let's find a tripod. All right. I know I got nobody online anyway, so it really doesn't matter, does it? I'm live. I'm streaming. First time I've ever done this. That's okay. Let's turn this bad boy on. All right. I got one person live. Hey, I'm trying to figure this out. I'm gearing up my tripod here. Hold on. So, that's good. That's good. I'm just messing around with this damn tripod thing. I'm out in my shack on a Friday, having me a little drinky poo. I'm gearing my tripod. Hold on. Oh, what the hell's going on there? Something wrong with this thing. Oh my God. What is wrong with this? Hang on. Oh my God. Hope you guys are good. I got this set up on a gimbal, and it is doing its own thing. I don't know what the hell it's doing. It's trying to like turn around for some reason. So I got her jammed. Hold on. Trying to get it. I know I shouldn't have gone live before I actually had it geared up, but I'm an idiot. So, you know, that's how that goes. I'm old and what the fuck is going on with that now? Oh my fuck. Hold on. Sweet jumping fuck. The fuck is wrong with this? I wish I could lock it. I'm just going to turn it off. Hold on. Turn off this stupid gimbal. Set it up so it's basically just sitting here. There. Oh my fucking Jesus Christ. I just need like a regular tripod. And this thing's got a mind of its own. Oh my God. So anyway, oh my God, look at that. It's like sitting there like it's doing its thing. Anyway, you can't even see. Look, you son of a bitch. Look, when old people try to figure out technology, this is what happens, right? What the hell is wrong with this thing? Oh, I see. Never mind. The balance is way off. A regular tripod would be so much better. You know what? I wouldn't even blame you for leaving right now. Look, I'm just going to unhook this. Frig that thing. This thing, look, hold on. I'm just going to show you. It's this stupid DJI Osmo thing. It's like a stabilizer unit. Apparently, you can only do the portrait format in live. I didn't know that shit. So, you know, I was trying to turn sideways. And it wasn't agreeing with me. It was turning everything off. Anyway, I'm live in my little tiny house thing that I got going on. And I'm just going to, I don't know if I can I turn this around? Yeah, there you go. Okay, there's a button. All right, all right, there. So I'm testing these batteries right now. I'm doing that sort of thing. I know this isn't blacksmithing, you know. I know a lot of you people really want to see me do some forging and stuff, but it's the middle of winter, the shop's cold, and you know, I really don't have any forging jobs. Well, I kind of do, but I got to get this battery bank geared up. I'm getting on to about, I got like 1,700-ish, 1,800-ish cells all packed away here already. So I got a bunch there, I got a bunch there, a few more there. These are the ones that failed. There's a few good ones in there, but probably all of them. But these are ones I still have to put in. These are still ones I'm putting in. And then when I run out, I'll probably get to about here. And then I'm going to dive into another big pile I got down here. There's probably like 600-700 more down in there. But these are the good ones. These are the top of the line way up here. These are the ones I would have kept to put into some sort of e-bike or something like that. But I don't know. The more I mess with these batteries, the more I realize it's just so damn time consuming that I just don't want to do it anymore. They're fun, but you can just imagine how long it takes to remove these from laptop packs. I average about 4 to 5 cells per pack, so you can divide that, do the math yourself there. But I end up with about 5,000 cells, maybe 6,000-ish, probably more like 5,000 cells. At the end of it all, I'm going to use about 3,120, I think. That number could be off, but it's close to that. So anyway, that's, that's where I'm at. Turn this around again. So yeah, I thought I'd go live. Oh, don't look at that. YouTube will cancel me. Oh, that's just a pellet gun, really. But got to keep the squirrels under control around here. When you live in the sticks, you gotta check the cute rats, day rats. That's what I call them, day rats. I love squirrels. They're cute little things, and it's a shame to keep them under control. But if you have ever lived in squirrel country, they're worse than rats. Worse than rats, because rats don't travel by tree. Rats will go through at night on the ground. They'll find their way up into things. Squirrel, it'll get on the ground and it'll come through the air, or it'll get into your attic. It can find any hole, and it is bigger than average rats around here. And they love to chew more than a rat does. They will chew your wiring all in your house. They will wreck everything. They'll chew on plastic water lines. You got to keep those buggers under control. You know what I'm saying? And nothing works better than a pellet gun, and I'm a damn good shot with it too. So they don't stand a chance. Anyway, I'm rambling on. I've never gone live. I've been a YouTuber. Just checked this out earlier today, but I've been a YouTuber since I think May or March of 2007. I don't think YouTube was a year old, and I was a YouTuber. I've been at this a long time. I really neglected the channel. If any of you watching me right now have been subscribed to my channel since back in the day, I had it going on. I had a pretty good channel happening there, but I wasn't really into being a YouTuber. I was more about metalworking at the time. It's probably more about drinking too, to be honest. And I think I've gotten that under a reasonable amount of control. I had some drinking problems back then, I think it was pretty obvious. I wasn't keeping it a secret online or anything. It was half my channel was being half lit. But I try to save it for the weekends now. I don't get as shit-faced. I got to blame Jody for kind of keeping me in check in that department, But yeah, it's not so much of a problem anymore. So, I'm good. Things I got going on as far as projects and stuff. I did just have that video not too long ago about things I was going to do around the property here. I don't even think I touched on a third of what I really got on the go. I was just talking to Jody tonight about what I should do with those snow blowers, and I think I've come to a decision about that. And feel free to let me know if you think it's kind of a dumb idea. I don't think anyone's going to think it's a dumb idea, but frivolous, maybe that's a good word. Fun, absolutely fun. Anyway, I'm gonna drop it right now. Drop it right now. This is what it's going to be. And I reserve the right to change my mind. I may not do it, but what I've always been into not model trains, but those miniature trains. Ever since I was a kid, touring the United States and going to little tourist attractions where it was more common when I was a kid, but you could go to pretty much any state in the United States, and within a half a day's drive, you could go take a little spin on a miniature railway. And Man, there is nothing more fun. It's like the most chill roller coaster ride you could ever do. It's like a little mini train. You could sit on it with 20 or 30 other people and go for a little tour around a little track. And man, that gave me so much joy as a kid. And I actually was I don't think I ever did any videos on it, but locally here is a miniature railway, and they have a 7.25-inch gauge track, which is a very common gauge for those sort of miniature railways. I think there's one slightly bigger gauge. But anyway, back to what I was getting at. I think I want to make a little electric train, and maybe two, because I do have two of those electric snowblowers. They have a 2,000 watt DC motor. They have a speed controller built into them. They come with a 500 watt hour battery, which who knows how far that'll take you. I mean, I could always make a bigger battery. Obviously, I know how to make batteries, but I think that would probably go around my property more than a few times. But if not, the great thing about those snowblowers is they can take two batteries. They can run on one or they can run on two. And the way they sell them is they sell it with one battery, and if you buy another battery, you can run it twice as long. And so, I could have two trains. Each one would have a motor, and you could run both trains at any given time on one battery, or you could run either train on two batteries. So, maybe one train would be running and one might not be, and you could just always run a train on two batteries. So anyway, I think that'd be kind of a cool thing. And I thought about the track. A lot of times they make them out of all sorts of things because, it's just a model railway. I mean, frig, you could probably make it out of wood and it would still work, but a lot of people just use flat bar on the edge, like a 1 by 3/8 flat bar. I think that's what they use here in Windsor, Nova Scotia, at the Tregothic Railway. I guess I went on a tangent there, but anyway, I was talking about them. I was a member of their club, and it's a club. They actually have like this miniature railway. It's beautiful. It's in an industrial park here in town, but it has like a kilometer worth of track. It has a couple sidings and that kind of thing. It has a couple functioning steam locomotives. It has one, I think, diesel engine. It has several electric ones that run on deep cycle batteries. I don't think any of them have lithium batteries, but so I want to make it the same gauge because I want to make it so that if I ever wanted to take my train to that track, it would run on that track. So I'm going to make my gauge a 7.25 gauge. But what I happen, I think I've just lost you guys, but no, I think we're back. I have a stockpile of 3/4-inch pipe. Well, it's 3/8 pipe, but it's about 3/4 of an inch around on the outside. So I'm thinking of making a welded track that I can slip together with like a round bar socket type setup or that sort of thing. And I can do 20-foot sections because the pipe's 20 feet or maybe 21, something like that. But I got a bunch of it. I haven't really done the math on how much of it I have or how far it would go, but even if I use it all, I have the original source where I bought this pipe, so I can get a lot more of it really cheaply. I think I was only paying maybe $2 a length or something like that for brand new pipe. Can't go wrong. I couldn't buy a flat bar for that, so might do that. So that's I'm weighing that out because that's a pretty big project. You can't start a miniature railway and then just change your mind halfway through. Like I can't build like 200 feet of track around my property here and then just decide it's too much work and I just give up on it, because who builds a railway and doesn't finish a railway? Like, you got to at least make the loop, So I have to just stupid project or not. I think it's gonna be kind of cool because I don't like to cut my forest too much around here. I love living in the woods, and I think I want to keep it that way. But cutting just something as wide as a little footpath and just removing the odd tree and putting some gravel down, I think it'd be great. And whenever I drop a tree, I can put all the blocks of wood on the train and take them over to the wood pile. And I think that'd be kind of fun. I don't know. What do you think about that? Be kind of a silly project, but what else do I got on the go? I thought I would talk. This is not really, well, I guess it involves some things I got on the go, but I get a lot of questions lately about my off-grid life. Okay. I've been living off-grid. If you've been following me, I hadn't really showed the off-grid life because basically I'm living like a homeless man, essentially in the woods. Mind you, I'm living sort of the luxury version of the homeless man. I could afford a place, so I could afford to rent a home or whatever, or buy a home, whatever. I just don't want to. I own this land. I plunked a camper down 10 years ago, and we've been living in it ever since. Not completely full time, but mostly full time. And it's great. I mean, I don't have any mortgage. I do have a power bill because I have to buy these batteries. I have to buy the equipment, solar panels. I mean, let's not kid anyone. It's not completely free to live off grid. You have to buy a lot of gasoline for your generators when power's not functioning and that sort of thing. And, but it's still a lot cheaper than typical life. But it ain't for everybody. I think if you're a very motivated kind of a person to get things done, maybe you could do it. I think if you're somebody, I think a lot of people are fooling themselves at the end of the day, that they think they could live that way. They watch a lot of TV shows about living in tiny homes and that kind of thing, and tiny house life and those kind of TV shows, and just think it's that easy. Well, it's not. It's not easy living that way. It's living small is way harder than you think. It's easy to live small if you don't have a life. If you have a job and you have, I have gear and equipment, things I have to make everything work, and you got to have room to do stuff. And even now, like I have a lot of stuff in the weather that probably shouldn't be in the weather. My shop leaks a lot and lets moisture in and ruins things. And I'm pretty resourceful, so I don't worry about it too much. And I repair whatever I have to repair when I have to repair it. But if you're not a handy person, like if you're not I hate to use the term a handy man, but whatever, you can be whatever you want to be. I'm not here to judge, but that's just the old-fashioned term, handyman. But if you're a handy person, you need to be really handy. Like you need to understand the systems. You need to understand if you're going to set up a solar-powered system and have an inverter charger, you're going to have charge controllers, various types of energy storage systems, batteries, whether it's lead acid batteries, lithium batteries, all different kinds of lithium batteries. I wouldn't recommend you ever build this thing that I'm building. It's nuts. Like it's too much work. But you have to understand things like, electronics and how to set up things that are devices that are sent to you in Chinese English. And I mean, you have to figure it out. Like I just bought this charge controller. It's a really inexpensive charge controller that I plan to be setting up for this system. And I hope it's going to work because I bought it long before I planned to hook it up. I probably won't even be able to imagine the return policy is probably already gone. Like they usually get 30 days or something. I bought it more than 30 days ago. But I'll have to figure it out. Um, so the off-grid life is doable in two ways. And one, you have a lot of money. If you have a lot of money, you can buy the best or high quality equipment, energy storage, solar setup. You can hire the contractor to set it up. You know, you can throw hundreds of thousands of dollars at it and live in a beautiful cabin you had built by a contractor, and you can go that route. Um, or you can go the route I go, which is build all your own crap, make it work. Things break, get your ass out there and fix it. I'm always messing with generators come wintertime. This is why I'm building this battery, because my battery right now, it's made from the same cells, but it's going on 3 years. It's been cycled a lot. It was really a bit undersized in the beginning, so it's cycled a lot up and down, and with lithium, you know, these cells are, when they're new, and these aren't new, these are from used laptops. So, you know, they've already used up a good chunk of their lives, you know, 40% of their lives is gone. They've been tested and they still test pretty good, but big chunk of their lives are gone. It's literally in scale. So, you know, I'm trying to turn this but that's a ton of energy. Like if there was a fire in here right now, I'd be lucky to even get out of this little building. This here would take off like you wouldn't believe. This would have so much energy. It would probably, this is a steel framed 8x8 shed that I'm in. It's all made from this steel framework. But it's got styrofoam, which is kind of flammable. And there's so much power here that it would probably melt it. I would not be surprised if this would just be a melted pile of shit in the morning. Hey, Mena Zabari. Did I say that right? And Smithers, hey, what's up? I'm trying to read this. I'd say most laptops run 90% of the time plugged into the wall and the batteries are full. Yeah, but I know I'm bad for that too. I've wrecked many laptops' batteries because I would charge it, but then I would just run it on a battery, you know. And it really is like the worst thing you could do. If you can keep it plugged in, I think that's probably the best thing you can do generally. But yeah. Anyhow, like I was getting at, it's a thing about the scale of numbers. The reason this is going to give me so much energy from relatively dead batteries, and like I say, they're about 60 to 70% good because the bad ones have been chucked out. These are the ones that still were holding up pretty good. So, but there's 3,000 of them, right? They still that adds up to a lot of energy. It's like, I want to say, and I'm going to test it when I'm done, but it's something like 35 kilowatt hours, something like that. It's pretty big. And I mean, you know what one of these little cells weighs? Like this is just a few ounces, maybe 2 ounces or something, maybe barely. And all of these batteries together, they'd probably weigh like 400 pounds, 300 pounds, 400 pounds. It's pretty hefty. It's just a lot of batteries. And so it's a great deal of energy. Oh, Hayward, my buddy, my old buddy. Where does all the batteries come from? Well, I was just saying they come from old laptop packs. I get them from a variety of places over the years, but like the first batch I bought from a guy, actually he was from down your way, Bridgewater, I think he was, further than that, but he was doing exact same thing I'm doing, and he was at that point where he was done messing with them, so he was selling off a whole bunch, and regretfully, those were kind of really well worn out batteries. They were, looking back, it was, I probably shouldn't have bought them, you know. But I did, and you know, it's just an experience, and it's probably the reason the battery pack that I have now is not lasting so long is because they were kind of really depleted batteries. But these ones mostly came from Caleb Zwicker, who ran a computer shop in Berwick, Nova Scotia, and he was collecting them for a few years. As he would repair a battery, he would just take the old batteries and put them aside for me, and I would buy them. Back when I wanted them, I was paying more. I was paying a more reasonable price, like a couple bucks a pack. And then over the years, I just kind of didn't want them anymore. But I told him, if you were collecting them, I'd still buy them for like $1.50. And, that was a decent price. And I just didn't really want them. I didn't think I was going to build a battery pack this big. Anyway, he messaged me, and I think I didn't know he was going out of business, but he knew he was going out of business. So he wanted to sell all the batteries he had. And he had just bought out a computer shop that did some work for the military. So they had a pile of like military spec stuff, a bunch of Panasonic Tough books, laptops that were well serviced, well cared for. When the batteries were dead, they were replaced with OEM batteries. They weren't replaced with shitty batteries. And so cracking all them packs open. Anyway, he sold them to me really cheaply because he was going out of business, and I didn't know that at the time. I didn't really want them. I told him, I said, I'll give you $1 a pack because I just didn't want to deal with them. Like, it's a big job. Anyway, he came back, said $1.25, you can have them. And I ended up with something like, and I had a bunch, but I ended up with like 300 plus packs. So I had to rip these packs open. It took me weeks and weeks to rip them open, and lots of blood. Yeah, I'm trying to think of how I could show you a picture on here, but I guess I can't. But I've got a picture I took of my hand. Like, I was ripping them open, and the inside of them, they're all held together with this nickel strip. I'll show you here. Turn around, phone. Yeah. So this is like the nickel strip stuff that this is all bent like, it's super thin. It's like a foil, nickel foil, and it's got an edge, man. And when I was ripping open the pack, like just reefing on it, I wasn't wearing a glove or whatever, and it just opened my hand up like you would believe, like good inch long, just deep, ugly cut. Anyway, that's why I'm not fond of these things anymore. There's a lot of blood given, so I'm kind of done with that. But anyway, I ended up with all those cells. I want to say like at least 50%, 60% of these came from that haul. And so this is where I'm at with them. I spent months testing them because I've only got these testers here. Let's turn this around again. Let's turn this around. Yeah. So these are the testers. I've got basically four of these. They're not really the same, but I've got two like this one, and I got two of a different type that they test for and they charge for, but they're basically it's the same thing. So I'm only able to test 16 batteries at a time, and it takes about 7 hours because it has to charge them when they come out of the laptop packs. Usually they're kind of dead. They weren't all dead. Every now and then you'd open one, it was fully charged. But anyway, this unit will charge them, and then it will deplete them down. And so what it does is it charges it, and then it measures it, and it measures what it can get from 4.2 volts, which is fully charged. See, this is charged. It's still charging right now, and it's reading the milliamp hours going into charging it. And that works too. Energy is energy, whether it's going in or it's coming out. So this unit can measure it either way. Some say it's more accurate one way or another, but it doesn't matter to me. I'm just getting like a baseline. So anyway, this is the max charge of these cells is 4.2, and that's exactly what that's doing. It's charging at 4.2. So it's pretty close to being done being charged. If this was on a test mode, which it's not, it would charge it and then it would deplete it all the way down to about 2.5, and it will measure how many milliamp hours it would take. Some of these batteries say right on them how many milliamp hours are on them or in them. Most of them don't, but some do. I think that one maybe. Yeah. See, here's an example. It's telling you what it's got. Brand new. 2000 milliamp hours. And the nominal voltage is 3.7. And what that is basically that is the useful voltage of this battery, 3.7. It's like when you buy a AA, you would call it a 1.volt battery. But when you first buy those batteries and you measure them, they're like 1.7 because they're fully charged. So fully charged, these are like 4.2 when they're brand new. When they're a little older, they're not really 4.2 anymore. See this one, 4.12. And after I tested it, it's 1810. And this might have started out as 2500 or something like that. It's a good Panasonic cell. So it goes to show you, like brand new, it was 2500. It might have been 2800. I'd have to look it up, but now it's down to 1800. So it's lost its strength in it. But it's vintage. It's still got, it still has something. Still got something to offer. And that's the thing. If you load up 3,000 of them, even though they're all kind of weak, that's a lot of power still. Ton of energy. So yeah. So that's where that project is anyway. It's not really much to say about that. That's just sort of progressing, and if you follow along, you'll see how the battery pack's coming along. I'm going to have this full and done. I'm going to have to test some more of them other batteries to fill in the remainder of the gaps here, but I don't think I'm going to fill them. I want to get 120 cells per section. I don't think I'm going to get there. It's probably going to be more like maybe 90. That's still a lot of power. And whatever I have here, that's what I'm going to have. I'm not going to buy any more cells. I could do that to kind of make up for the shortfall, but I'm not going to worry about it. I have thousands of cells. Right now, I'm living on the battery pack I have now is when it was fresh, it would run my place for a day. This will give you a good idea. I'm going to turn this around again. What I operate on right now. Well, let's start over. What I'm building here, this is a battery. This is going to be one battery to this line. And then this is going to be a second battery exactly the same size. So I'm building two batteries right now. This is one battery, and this is another. The battery I run right now is exactly the same length as these. So ideally, if I could fill this is 120 cells. I run for a full day when they were fresh. And now it's not a full day, but I used to run a full day on 8 of these. Now, if I get this up and running, this is 28 of these. That's considerably better. That is way better. So just one battery is going to be 13 packs. The next one is going to be 13 packs. And so, yeah, way better. And these batteries are fresher from the get-go. So even those batteries, they were more worn out. And they just couldn't hold up. And, that's where they're at now. Now, if I have a nice, bright, sunny day in the summertime, it'll go till about midnight running everything, lights and refrigerator, deep freeze, a load to wash, Starlink internet's on all the time. Everybody's charging their phones and laptops and all that stuff, and boys are gaming, and that kind of thing. Yeah, and that's just on 8 rows of these, which is 480 times 2, that's 960 cells. So this will be more than, ideally, more than 3 times the energy. So this should be 3 days, 4 days runtime after I lose all my sun. So that's pretty good. Hell, I'll be happy with 2 days, because usually within a 2-day period you can gain enough sun to refresh things. That's like in the dark, so it'll run for 2 days in the dark. And I'm going to service my windmill here pretty soon too, so even if it's dark and it's windy, you can get a little something out of that. It used to work good, and it failed. I wouldn't do the windmill thing again. It worked good for a while, and it went through one windstorm that was a little much for it and didn't work the same ever since. So, and it's still spinning, but it just ain't doing nothing. Gives me like 40 watts or something, even in a big wind. So I have to take it down and clean it up. There's not much to it. It's just a coil. It's basically a 3-phase. It's producing voltage, but it just doesn't give me any amps. So, but I got to climb up there, and it's up there kind of high. My ladder's a little sketch. So yeah, outside of that, back to the off-grid living thing. Yeah, I've been here 10 years. And like I say, it's not for everyone. You need to be handy. You need to have a lot of tools, and you need to have a lot of know-how. And if you don't have all them things, you better know somebody that does, that don't mind helping you for nothing, because it's going to be tough living that way. That the homesteady kind of off-grid lifestyle, right? There's so many different kinds of living this way, and I'm doing it my way. But I got the gear, I got the know-how, and I know I ain't such a smart dude, but I know how to find answers. So I'm the Google queen, right? I know how to look it up. I know how to find it, and I don't mind spending a whole evening watching videos on it. And that's the key. If you're going to be going down a certain road, you better learn something. You better take it in. And this is sort of a sponge. Sometimes, if I have an interest in, then I'm going to take it in and learn. So yeah, that's enough of that baloney. What else am I into these days? I've got some projects. I've got a trailer on the table right now. It's a tiny house trailer, but it's not for a tiny house. It's for a sauna, a mobile sauna. And the last trailer I just built was a mobile sauna. And so this is another one, almost the same. It's a little bit bigger. So I got to get that done. I just got all my parts today. I got to zip that up, get that out the door. I've got a project that a buddy of mine wanted, a tank made out of stainless. Calvin, if you're watching, buddy, I don't think I can work with that material. It literally looks like it went through an explosion. It's so wrinkly and beat up and thin stainless steel. It's only like 18 gauge stainless, maybe something like that, and it's beat up, so it's not a good fit. And I don't have a TIG welder, so I would be stick welding it with like a 16th of an inch rod, which I can do, but it's going to be really tough, really hard. It's just it's so difficult that I don't want to tackle it. And I don't know. It's one of those jobs that I've had many jobs come my way that I said yes to, and I was a little bit into it. I just realized it just can't be done. Not with the gear I have, and I don't have much patience at this age anymore for stuff. So anyway, that's one job. But then my neighbor here, he's built a quite large house across from me. He owns a couple tractor sales service Kubota places here in the county and a couple in the whole province, I think. I don't know. I don't really know how big it is, but it's a pretty big operation. And anyway, he built I don't even know how many $1 million house up the hill here. Super sweet people, though. That fireplace grate and the fireplace stuff there that I just did was all for this house. But I got to get back onto a few other projects for him. Nothing super pressing. It's all, ornamental stuff and things for the home, but I don't think it's anything. It's not stopping him from living there or anything. But once I get this trailer out of the way, then I get back on that. So that should be some interesting stuff. I have to make him a nice firewood rack. I made the one for myself there, but I thought about making something similar for him. I don't think he wants them with the feet. Maybe if he sees that, maybe that's something he would want. I don't think it really suit the style of his home, but something big and beefy and forged. So that's coming. Probably something that would hold like 4 or 5 big armloads of wood. I think he wanted a set of fireplace tools, so that would be something really pretty. So we'll be forging there. Got to do a little work on my Hayabusa. I'm going to put an extended swing arm, that kind of thing. Not too far. I just want to stretch it out of like 4 or 5 inches, something like that. Make it look a little bit better. I'm not going to put on the big fat tires or anything. Well, I think that looks stupid. I just want it stretched a little because of where the wheelbase is in relation to the tail. It looks a little funny. Just want to bring it out just a little bit more. Got a lot of work to do on my cars. None of that's worth watching, so that's not going to be on my channel. I'm not going to do that. But I might do a few exploration videos. Nova Scotia's got a lot of very interesting things to show. And, I've dabbled in that a little bit before, but I think I'm going to show a little more of what's going on in Nova Scotia, meet some real Nova Scotian people, that sort of thing. Hey, Zod, long time no see, bud. Enjoyed your vids from way back. Well, I'm glad you're sticking with me there, buddy. Appreciate that. I know I do have a lot of people that have been watching me for years, and, I don't know why the fuck you'd want to watch this face, but I'm sticking with it. I'm back into it. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to do more live. It won't be as dull as this, but I wanted to try it. It's the first time I've ever gone live. Nothing's gone wrong yet except trying to figure out that stupid tripod thing. So I know that doesn't work. What else do I got on the go? I don't know if you watched the video from way back there. My Prius is, and I know I don't look like a Prius type, but that is the best damn car ever. I don't care what anybody says. They're ugly, yes, but that old Prius is the toughest damn car. If you've ever owned any kind of Toyota, they're just tough. I used to have a Corolla from back around the same time period. Actually, it was like a 98 Toyota Corolla. And that thing was bulletproof. You couldn't kill that damn thing. This Prius, same way. It must have been built by the same crew, because I've taken that off road. I mean, it's gone places you don't even know. But I have 2 of them, so the other one's running. It's basically a parts car, but it's still running, and the battery's fine in it, and everything like that. And I think I'm going to take this. I got the one I run sort of set up like a power plant, essentially, if you saw that video. But I have a big battery in the back, and I got it set up so that it's got a big inverter, and I schemed it up because my battery was failing in the house. So I just wanted a reliable backup, not my generators. A generator is great, but even running a 3,500 watt generator is not as efficient as the Prius, because the Prius, I can set it up. It just sits there. You can put it in ready mode, which is essentially when you turn the car on before you put it in drive. it's in ready mode. It's ready to go, right? So everything's on. But if you turn off the headlights, you turn off the heat, you turn off the display, the car doesn't do anything. It uses a tiny little bit of power for the computer or something, but it's very little compared to how much power and energy is in the battery, the high voltage battery. So it just sits there for like if you don't draw any power off of it at all, it won't do anything for half an hour. And then come on, it'll run for 30 to 30 seconds to a minute and just to charge up the high voltage battery, and then it shuts off. Just leave the car on for 6 months. It doesn't care. It just comes on. Sorry, I got something in my eye. Probably my own eyelashes. But anyway, it'll just sit there and run away. You know, it's not running, but it's just sitting there. It's ready to go. But when I plug in my place to charge batteries inside, and because I can run from the inverter, it goes through a lot of inverters. The motor in the Prius charges a high voltage battery. The high voltage battery charges the low voltage battery. The low voltage battery goes to an inverter. And okay, hold on. It's better than that. The gas engine has one inverter, I think, or two inverters. That charges the high voltage battery. The high voltage battery goes through another inverter, charges the low voltage battery. The low voltage battery feeds into the inverter I put in the car, just a regular, like a 12 volt inverter. And that's a 1500 watt inverter. I can plug that into my place, goes through an inverter charger, charges my batteries. The batteries store the energy in the house. And when you want 110 power, the batteries from the house go back through the inverter charger to run the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot. There's a lot going on. So anyway, my getting back to this, the efficiency of it all. Normally, when my power is down, I'll just fire up a generator. I had a pretty standard 3,500 watt generator, which could handle charging the batteries in my place. You'd probably run it for about 2 hours, and it would charge the place up again, good for an evening or till the next morning. So that's generally how it works. Solar does its thing during the day, charges up the batteries all day long, a couple times maybe. You can do all sorts of shit in the daytime because you got the sun shining. Even when the sun's not shining, if it's bright out, it's usually enough power to keep things going. But let's just say it's a grim day, no sun, dark, lots of clouds, middle of the winter, days are kind of short up here. I'd have to run a generator maybe. And then in the evening for sure, just after supper, fire up the generator and run it for a couple hours. And then we're good till overnight. Sometimes still have to go out there at 10, 11 o'clock at night and run the generator again for an hour or two. So it's not a ton of gas, but it does add up. So, but the Prius, I turn it on ready mode, plug the house in. It would run it'll run when it was really charging the batteries in the house. It was running about once every 10 minutes for 2 minutes, if you know what I'm saying. So every 10 minutes it would come on, it would run for 2 minutes. And about an hour or two later, when the batteries in the house are charged, it'd only come on for 2 minutes every 15 or 20 minutes. And the car is warmed up. It stores its heat. It's a crazy car. It doesn't have to reheat the engine. Because a normal engine, if you turn it off for 10, 15 minutes, you lose your heat. It goes through the radiator, out the hoses. Then your car is not as efficient because it's heating a cold engine every time. Well, the Prius, I don't even know how it does this. It's got some sort of built-in, like a thermos And when the engine shuts off, it pumps the hot water into this thermos thing. It's in the dash somewhere, or it's in behind the firewall. I don't know where it is, but you can hear it. It'll pump the fluid from the cooling system into a thermos. It keeps it hot. And then 10 minutes later, when the car wants to run again, it'll pump it back out to where it needs it. And it's still hot. So the car doesn't have to go through that warm-up cycle that cars do. But it's crazy. Like, it burns so little fuel. I've left it going all night. When I first geared it up, I would turn on the Prius and it would just run for run all night, but it would do that thing, run every couple minutes, every 10 minutes for a couple minutes. And then once the batteries were charged, it was only coming on at the end of the night. It was only coming on once every 20 minutes for 2 or 3 minutes. And I'd go out the next day. There was one time I wanted to know how much it was using. So I filled it up, and in the morning it was only 1 bar down on the gauge, which is the equivalent of like 2 gallons of gas. So I basically had a generator running all night for 2 gallons of gas. And if I ran even my smallest generator, it would use 2 gallons of gas. So it's as efficient as like a 1,000-watt generator, which is, it just blows my mind. Car's crazy. And it's still like the toughest, most comfortable car, but it's the ugliest car in the world. Actually, I had a Toyota Echo, and yeah, it was a tough car too. It was way uglier though. So anyway, that's some stuff. I got other things on the go. I got to finish skinning in that old, I call it the Thunderdome, the metal building that we built for building the trailers and stuff. I got to skin that in. I got a whole bunch of old tin roofing, come from a friend down the road here, and it's all rusty tin shack type metal, but I got to close that in, stop the wind from blowing through, and keep the prying eyes out. But that's a job. I got all kinds of jobs. Well, you know me, I used to be Mr. 90%. More like Mr. 70, maybe 60% now. Like, I start all kinds of things, and I'm lucky to get 60% of the way. I got to start jobs where even if you get 60%, you can get something out of it. You know what I'm saying? Start jobs that actually pay, even if you don't finish them. That's what I need. I need more of that. What my real goal here in the near future is I don't plan, and I've already done this. I've already told old customers that I've had for a long time, and I feel bad saying it, but I just literally, it's so hard for me to complete things at this age, and I just don't have the motivation, purely because I don't want to do it. And I got to be honest. That's just how I am. And I'm just one of those old dudes that just got to that point where I just don't want to do it anymore. I'm wore out. I find when I take big work on, I get halfway through and it's so hard for me now. And, arthritis has been getting to me and that kind of thing. I don't want to be a Danny Downer, but I just can't do it. I got to be honest. I can't do it. It hurts too much. I pay the price physically, right? I get her done, but it's killing me. And so the future for me is this. I'm going to keep doing the YouTube thing, mostly for y'all's entertainment. There's no money in it. I lost my partner status a while ago. I'm trying to get it back. That's why I'm creating views, and hopefully y'all are watching me long enough to count as watch hours, as they say. But I got to get my watch hours up, and then they'll give me that back. That's literally peanuts. I'll be at this 2 years from now, and I'll be lucky to be seeing $100 a month. So there's no money in YouTube. It's just something that I think I need to do to kind of keep my mind going, and I like making videos. I don't know about this live stuff. Who the hell wants to watch some old fart yammer on? Fuck, I know I wouldn't. I wouldn't be here. I don't know what's wrong with you people. I wouldn't watch me. Oh, I lost a guy. See? Just like that. Anyway, that's what I'm up to. That's your 1 hour update live directly from the little red tiny house. That could. Got my collection of crap farming up there. My mentor. I don't know if you can see this stuff, but I got an old Tim Hortons. Where is it? Right there. Old Tim Hortons thermos I found at a yard sale. Bunch of old brass flashlights. Yeah, silliness. Anyway, yeah, live from the 7x7 shack, which I love, actually. It's kind of cool out here. I never used to spend much time here, but it's really quiet. I've never insulated something with styrofoam before. This is all like from a commercial roof. It's like 3-4 inches thick, this stuff. And yeah, actually, no, that's the drywall. This side, sorry. This is the old foam, but it's like 3-4 inches thick. And man, it doesn't take much of that to keep this warm. I've got like a little, to show you what I'm keeping this place warm with this, just this little guy right here. And it doesn't gas me out because it's on so low. And I got a big crack in the door, which I'm not going to repair because it does let a little fresh air in. And keeps me from dying. But yeah, anyway, this is my little space. But that's it. I got other things on the go. Trying to think of stuff. Here's another big project. And I'm starting to collect the things I need, but I'm building a CNC plasma. That'll be a thing. I'm sure you saw that out there that one day I did an update video or something like that. But I'm starting to collect I can't show you now. I got it boxed up, but I bought Yes Welder plasma right there. It was a 65. It says 55, but it was supposed to be 60. Anyway, it was right out of the box. Didn't work. No matter what I did, I couldn't get more than 30 psi out of it. And I ran the hose directly into the unit, and it would not do more than 30 psi. Took it apart, trying to figure it out. It's not worth messing with it too much. I'm just going to send it back to Amazon, get another one. So that was kind of a letdown. But that unit there is it's one of those non-high frequency ones with a pilot arc. So I'm sending that back, another one. But yeah, I'm going to build that CNC plasma, get that going, do some projects with that. So that's pretty much it. I don't know what else to say except goodbye. I'm sure you're done listening to this guy. Anyway, thank you for stopping in. I appreciate it. It's good to talk to you guys and let you know what's up. I'm still alive and kicking and looking a little worse for wear. Look at that gray, bud. I just turned white as hell over the past few years. I'm old. This here is all thinning right out there. I mean, this is going to be bald. I'm going to be one of them guys with the big white ring here. Whatever. Jody don't dig it, but it's called getting old, right? Anyway, thanks for coming. Cheers, folks. This one's for you. And we'll catch you on the next one. I'm going to continue fucking with this battery. And I think every Friday evening we'll just have a little talky talk. I won't be in here. We'll walk around and we'll check out some things and do some interesting stuff. Oh, last 30 seconds. Another project I got on the go. I live on a gold river here. Gold ore river. I don't know what you want to call it. It's got gold in it. I've gone down there and done some panning and found a little bit of gold. And I'm going to build a sluice box and do a little panning down there, and we'll see what we can find. And you never know, might find a big old nugget and get rich, and then you'll never see me again. It could come to that. Anyway, love all of y'all, and I'll check you on the next one.